Hello and welcome back to Finding the Summit, the project where we are climbing Mount Kilimanjaro and sharing other women's Kilimanjaro-sized goals and empowering you to reach yours too. Today I'm speaking to the lovely Natalia Komis, who is a marketing and business strategist, creative activator and serial social entrepreneur. We got to speak all about what it means to be a multi-passionate creative, when to let go of projects, and also the deeper impact of remote work. I hope you enjoyed the conversation just as much as I did. So here we are. Hi Natalia, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
I was wondering if you could start out by sort of introducing yourself and telling everyone who you are and what you do.
So I'm an intuitive business mentor, a marketing strategist. I also call myself a creative activator, and I help people activate their mission through creative practices, through business, through marketing, and really helping them to uncover who they really are and what they want to be doing in this world. I'm also the founder of Remote Missions. So Remote Missions is a platform to bring people together and help them find fulfilling remote jobs in socially minded businesses.
And I think there are so many of the things that you do that overlap a lot with the stuff that we're doing with this project, but also it's funny because we've known each other for a few years and there's so much overlap between what we're doing now, which is, I guess we've both kind of migrated away from what we were doing before.
Definitely, yeah. I don't even know, it was quite a few years ago that we first met and seemed to have always been in the same circle somehow, even though we've changed. When we first met, I think I was doing my first business, and that had elements of mentoring creatives and then doing the marketing and business side of it in there. And that's kind of evolved. I think within the first 9 months of starting that, I started iamadventures, like a crazy creative person that I am. Can't possibly stick to one thing at a time. That was all about helping people, well, women and girls actually specifically, so taking women and girls on creative walking adventures to different areas around the world, helping them find their personal potential, their human potential, and growing their personal development through creative practices, through walking ridiculous kilometers every day, and through collaborating with projects, social projects on the ground. And that was an amazing business. I loved it. But I sort of put it on pause so that I could focus on Remote Mission and some of the other work that I want to do.
Something you said really resonated, which is the kind of having so many ideas and going off in lots of different directions, or even if it's in the same direction, just wanting to take on lots of projects. How did this all sort of start? How did this evolution kind of get kicked off for you?
I think it's always been there. I think it's something, I come from a family of entrepreneurs. I studied art, and when you're at art school, the process teaches you to adapt and to change and to be flexible and to let go of things, actually. So we would have to throw away most of our actual work every year. And much like when you're an entrepreneur, what you're creating, your business, is your baby. It's something that's really personal to you, and you put freaking loads of hours into, and you've not gone to see your friends or not gone on holiday because of it. And then actually comes a time where you're going, something else is pulling me now. There's something else that I want to give my attention to. And this is the hardest thing I think about being an entrepreneur, knowing when to actually move on from something, knowing the right time to go, okay, this isn't working right now for whatever reason. I'm going to move on to something else. And that's quite a crucial moment. And being aware of when that is and being aware of the whys is really important. And then being able to let go of that, because it is difficult to let go of something. I could have tried to keep iamadventures going and focus on Remote Mission, but it never would have worked because my focus would have been all over the place.
No, absolutely. And I love the kind of, you were taught that actually, even though you poured your heart and soul into all of this stuff, it kind of served its purpose, and now you have to physically throw it away.
So yeah, either getting rid of it, selling it, letting someone else have this and put their own ideas onto it, much like selling a business once you're
Yeah.
kind of ready to move on.
Yeah.
Ask anybody that's sold a business and they'll be like, either they're going, thank the Lord, I've got rid of that, or they're going, that was one of the most difficult things I've ever had to do. And maybe they wanted different terms, but you know, that's just the way it is. Sometimes you know what needs to happen and you just have to move forwards with that.
So I think I remember actually seeing, I think it was a Facebook post you did maybe, when you said, I'm taking a step away from iamadventures. And am I right in saying that was to focus more on remote mission?
Yes. So I wanted to build up remote mission. I felt like it was an idea I'd had actually for about 2 years before I did anything with it. It just kept coming back to me, and it just felt like, okay, it's now or never, basically. And, you know, and that's kind of a case of, well, obviously it's now then.
No, I think there's really something to be said for, there kind of comes a point where you say like, okay, well, this idea, this little seed of an idea that's sitting in the back of my head, like, is this going to happen or not? Because whether or not it's a timely idea, the world changes, you change, and, you know, are you going to give birth to this idea or not?
Yeah, and I love something that Brené Brown says, I think. Oh no, actually, I think it's Elizabeth Gilbert, where if you don't take hold of this idea and turn it into somebody else is going to get that idea and do it. And it's like the idea passes through people. The idea has energy of itself, and if you don't do something with it, it's going to move on to the person who will. What was interesting is I actually tried doing something with it about a year before with other people, and it just wasn't working. And it wasn't working because I hadn't brought the social impact aspect into it.
And I think it's a really beautiful way to think of ideas as something that like has a life of its own, and it's not all you. It kind of, I don't know if it takes a bit of pressure off, probably not, because we put a lot of pressure on ourselves as entrepreneurs, but I think it allows you to kind of let go of a bit of ego of this is my idea. It's like, no, it's an idea that I want to take, and I want to it to be my creation in a way. It's definitely.
And I think with remote mission, you know, the thing that actually has worked the best with remote mission is actually building the community, bringing the people together and allowing them to be part of the story. I'd come to a point where I was fed up of doing things mostly on my own. Whereas with the remote mission, even though it still is to an extent, because I'm the founder and I'm like, you know, managing everyone, it's much more of a community effort. So we ask the community, whenever we're going to do anything, the community get a say in it. So for example, last week we did a call out saying, does anybody want to take over the blog and have that as your thing? And we had loads of people who wanted to do it because everyone understands that it's a group effort. For me, social businesses, mission-driven businesses, going forward, that's the ethos that we need to bring into it now. Letting go of that ego, letting go of this is my idea and I can't ask for help because this is my thing, it's my baby. And actually expanding outwards so that more people can reap the reward.
I think it's a really powerful message, and it's something that I don't want to taint all entrepreneurs with the same brush, but I'm speaking from my experience. I definitely struggle with knowing like when to delegate, when to ask for help. Yeah. But I think there's something much more powerful than that when you have a community behind a concept and helping you to build the story. It's something like no other. You're going to build something so unique.
No, and you know, I would not be able to reach 10,000 people this year if that wasn't the case. Like one person, you know, that's quite difficult to do. That's something that remote mission has taught me, if anything, is the power of community, the power of coming together for a specific cause. And one of the things that really bugs me at the moment, and I talk about this a lot in remote mission, is the digital nomad trend. I feel like it's become overly cool and overly fashionable, and it's this whole like Instagram lifestyle that people who are, you know, people are leaving their jobs and like selling everything without a plan, without knowing anything about what might happen, which is fine if you're the kind of person who can make things happen. It is not fine if you're going, look, all these other people are doing it, and look how cool I'm going to be, and I can just like take amazing photos and put them on Instagram, and my life is going to be brilliant. And that's not how the world works, I'm afraid. One of the key things that we're doing is going, this is the reality of working remotely, and what you can do and how it can benefit you and people all around the world, not just the privileged few. You know, people in India and in South America and in Nepal and like all of these different places who are actually, their lives are changing for the better because of remote work.
It's really great to have more of a, I don't like using the word realistic because location independent lifestyles are realistic, but there's definitely something to be said for understanding that there's a reality behind it that you aren't seeing through Instagram pictures, and just something that you need to, you don't have to have it, I think, like already in your personality, but there's something you need to gain, which is being kind of self-starter and being resourceful, which you might not have if you haven't done anything like this before.
I mean, there's certain skills. So I actually did a training in the group, I think it was last week or the week before, because I can't remember what I was asking, but I asked something along the lines of, it might have been around fear, like if you weren't afraid, what would you do, or something like that. And loads of people were like, I'm leaving my job, I'm doing this. And I was like, okay, let's take a step back here. And I did a training about, I think I called it what to do before you leave your job. And it was just about actually going, why am I doing this? You know, what do I want to get out of this? And am I escaping? And if I'm escaping, what am I trying to escape from? Because let me tell you this, like, you could be, you know, running to the other side of the world, and whatever you're trying to run away from could still be with you.
So true. If
you don't address it. So that's what I'm trying to say. Don't do this just because it's a current trend. Yeah. Do it because it's right for you.
We already explained at the beginning kind of what remote mission is a bit, but do you want to just kind of clarify, what is remote mission? Who is it for?
Yeah, so it's a community of like-minded people who are predominantly socially minded remote workers. And that's a mixture of people who have their own business that's socially minded in some way, mission driven, or people who are working remotely or want to be getting a job working remotely in basically a business that does good. We currently send out a newsletter with remote jobs and just trainings and tips and that kind of thing. We have a Facebook community. So one of our key missions is helping all people with skills all across the world to gain access to remote jobs. You know, people who are displaced, refugees, women who are in women's shelters. The whole idea is to use remote work for becoming more sustainable, for, you know, bringing back like the circular economy, for helping communities on the ground grow and be able to actually give back to them.
I love it. I love how you've dived so deep. Is it dived or dived?
Dive. Dived.
No, but I love how you've dived so deep into a topic which, again, it's trendy. It's not just trendy, but I think people are understanding its power. But actually, the power is of the impact that can go so much further. We've talked a lot about the past, what's brought you up to this point now, but what's in the future for Natalia, whether that be remote mission or other things?
So I've been doing a lot of my mentoring and coaching side of things a lot more this year, and that's going to progress more next year. So I'm actually running a program at the moment called Activate Your Mission, which is helping people to rediscover what their mission is, to bring it out into the world and to take action on that. And then from January, I'm actually opening up a membership program for change makers, radical creatives, and just visionaries, people who are thinking differently and want to do things differently. That's going to be a monthly program with training and support and lots of fun things in there. It's going to be a mixture of business, strategy, marketing, all of that jazz, but mixed with spirituality, creativity, well-being, mindset, which are all the things that I'm really passionate about. And then with Remote Mission, We've got a new website coming, which is really exciting. With that, we're going to have a job site platform, plus the community is going to be there as well. So we're kind of moving everything into one place.
It all sounds really exciting. So I've got two kind of final questions to round things off. The first one is a fun one. What is your Kilimanjaro-sized goal?
Okay, I think I've got it. Okay, so my Kilimanjaro is I guess my kind of like middle way is to reach 10,000 people in the next year and help them find their mission, whether that's helping them find a fulfilling remote job, or whether that's building and creating a mission-driven business. My Kilimanjaro summit is to be known and help as many people create their entrepreneurial mission-led projects that are going to empower them and change the world.
The last question would be, where can people find you online?
So you can go to nataliakomis.com or remotemission.com, and if you go to Remote Mission, you can also find the Facebook group, which is the Remote Mission community. Really excited to see your journey and to make sure that I keep up with all of your updates.
Thank you.
And brilliant project, love it.
So thank you so much to Natalia for chatting with me, and do remember to check out her links, which are all listed in the description below. Whether you want to check out Remote Mission or you're interested in her membership program starting in January, or any of the other things we talked about. Have a great week, and we will see you all in our next video next week. Don't forget that Finding the Summit is a project with a lot more than just these interviews. We are going to be going to Tanzania, climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, and sharing the stories of women in Tanzania and their Kilimanjaro-sized goals. So if that's something you're interested in, don't forget to subscribe to our channel to find out more about our adventures. Thanks for watching. Bye.